Hello, hello, hello! It's Big back with Big's D&D Fix. Part 3 or episode 3 rather. And today we will be discussing 3 of my characters and a bit more of the impact of love on this world. I think it's a good day to do it. I'm recording it on Valentine's Day after all. Hopefully I will be able to upload it tomorrow. Well, I will try to upload it as soon as I'm done with the recording and everything seems decent. I will start a bit with just describing love. Because you know how I am. Love is an intense feeling of deep affection. And I have quite a few characters in the world at large that has this. A couple of my characters, like Victor that we discussed last time. He loves fire. He doesn't like fire, he loves it, he craves it, he is devoted to it. But just because you love something doesn't mean that's everything you are. You can be other stuff, you can have other interests, you don't only have to be loving. But one of the characters that I'm talking about today has a devotion, has a deep connection with the word love. I think it's only fair to keep him, Griseo, as the last guy I'm going to talk about today. Because the other people have connections to the word love, but not as deep, not as strong as Griseo. And there are different types of love. So let's start more about being in love with your work. As our dear potion brewer, Potio is. His work isn't brewing potions, no. He's a merchant. He sells and he buys. But he is also, he deeply loves his profession, he deeply loves money, and he deeply loves brewing potions. But he's only in love with his job, with what he do for a living, because he loves the feeling of when coin falls in his hand from a good deal. But he is, of course, quick to assume that someone is trying to cheat him. Which is fair enough. Because the reason he has joined Transitum is because, well, he got cheated. He got cheated out of everything. He had a nice building that he lived in and worked in. He had a store even. But one day, a customer falsely accused him of poisoning the potions. And living in a then more human-oriented city, as a goblin, people believed that he would do something like this. He doesn't poison people. He always tells people what they can, what the risks are with his potions. He doesn't allow someone to just grab a potion, drink it. You get an explanation of what he thinks might happen. Unless you're buying one of his more random creations. But he tells you then too. Those aren't surprises. Those aren't new. He tells you that there are great risks doing this, and you have to sign a waiver. Unless now, well, that's what you had to do. Nowadays, he doesn't sell potions to people outside the guild, because the guild leader Edward is also a monstrous race. He's a giant. He will not stand for someone accusing Potio with no reason. And Potio is deeply appreciative of this. That's why he's loyal to the guild, from his current breath to his last. Because while he may love what he does for a living, he has a connection to the guild. He knows he's welcome. He's trusted to know what he's talking about. So he works as hard as he can every day to be the best there is at brewing potions. And sadly, the workshop that he owned, the workshop where he learned his trade, it's gone. They burnt it down, trying to burn him down with it. But there were a few that he had befriended. A few of them are in the guild now. That warned him that something was about to happen, that he had to get out of the city. So they left. Potio left, joined the guild. He's not old, super old. He's a goblin. Goblins don't get too old. They are way too chaotic for that. And they only live to be about 60 or something like that. They reach adulthood at 8. He's 27 years old. And he has been part of the guild for the past 12 years. He joined when he was 15. And his house, his home, his workshop, his everything burnt down at 14. Because people in more human, people believe they own, and he was an outsider. But he knows he's not an outsider anymore. And that is the most important fact for him. And then we have Sana. She loves her friends. They are so important to her. They are among the most... She didn't have a lot of friends growing up. Well, growing up. Some would still call her a child. Though she is an adult by Dragonborn standards. But she still behaves like one. She's adventurous. She believes that if you can do something for the common people, for the citizens, you should. And she does judge others harshly, especially if they harm the people. But she judges herself even more. She is a monk. A way of mercy monk. She has mercy for all life. She will never go for the kill if she can avoid it. She will always do her best. But if someone harms her friends, the people she loves, she will show them what a true dragon can do. Even though she is Dragonborn, I don't want to get you guys to think that she's not. But she is so special in this world. Because a lot of people, sure, there's been peace for the past 50 years. But people are mistrusting. People don't believe others. She always believes that everyone has a good side. There's good in everyone. And nothing can shake that. At least nothing she's faced so far. She believes with the whole of her heart that people are good. And it's only situations that turn them bad. She's not the smartest, but she is wise. So, as they say, once fooled, twice burned. She won't fall for the same trick. Like, you can't fool her that you are a nice person after fooling her once. She will mistrust you, but she will believe that you can be good. She won't stop believing that. She will never stop believing the inherent goodness of people. Now, is that foolish? Of course it is. It's extremely foolish. But it's who she is. And I personally prefer her to be foolish. Well, I'm her creator, so of course I prefer her to be foolish, because otherwise I wouldn't have made her foolish. Now would I? No, but I see her as part of very few in this world that believes that believes that people are good. She has a childish optimism about her, but she's not afraid to defend her friends. She's not scared to go into battle, but she is merciful. She won't kill without cause. She won't kill if she can avoid it. But do not take this kindness for weakness. She has the blood of the dragons. She has the training of the monks. She has the knowledge of gods and their battles. But most of all, she has her friends. There's almost no one in this. She has only been part of the guild for a year, but there's almost no one in the guild that can fully say they dislike her. Almost everybody likes her. The people who don't like anyone prefer her company over others, because she respects them. She respects that they don't want to be told what to do. She respects that about them, and she doesn't force them to interact. She is as happy sitting there quietly as she is spawning tales about the gods and their battles, about how this nice lady she met a couple of nights ago offered her food. She hasn't known, as Potio has, the evilness of man. She has seen it. She is aware of mercy. She has helped people who have lived it, but she hasn't. She lived with the monks who accepted anyone. And when they told her to go out into the world and find out where she belongs, it didn't take her long to find Transitum, to find friends, to find people she loves and cherishes, that she can protect, that she can heal, that she can, whenever they get back from the wild adventure, she will be there. Now, she will join them sometimes, maybe even often. But that is for the players to decide. And her story has many paths that I can see. I see a great tree with many branches, and each branch changing her character, evolving, dissolving, learning and regressing. She has potential to become so much more than she already is. And I'm so looking forward to seeing my players learn this. To see them learn who she is. They have already met a couple of people and they love them, it seems like. But we are only on the second quest. They haven't had opportunity to interact with all my NPCs. They haven't had opportunity to interact with all the characters in the guild. Well, they have had opportunity, they just haven't had the reason. But that might change. I'm so looking forward to when they can meet her and discover who she truly is. But that's all about Sana. As you might have noticed, she's one of my faves. Well, all of them are one of my faves. I love them all so much. So I worked hard on them. I've created backstories. I'm so happy with them. Oh, I'm so happy with them. I'm, by the way, now in the mid bit here before I go and talk about Griseo. I'm thinking of maybe adding someone to the podcast, trying to see if I can find someone to talk to. So it's just not one person rambling. I don't know how you guys would think about that. I know there's a couple of people who watches this podcast. So if you have a reason why you wouldn't want that, just tell me in a comment. And I will listen. I won't stop completely doing this solo podcast, but I want to spice things up a little bit. You guys might get bored by it just being me. I don't know. Anyways, Griseo. We are here finally, talking about someone who I believe fully lives into the idea of love. To the idea that love is the most beautiful thing in the world, that the people you love define you as much as you define them. Griseo, he was once a troubled man. He was once alone. He met a woman. He didn't know who this woman was. They started talking, and he fell in love, and she loved him. But it was not to be. Because she was a goddess of love. She loved everybody. Though he had a special place in her heart. He became a devout believer. But he entered seclusion because he knew he could not have her. She needed to be for everybody. She was the whole world's, and he couldn't take her for himself. He knew this, he respected this, so he entered seclusion so that she would have more time for everybody else. She believed that she could grant this man godhood. And that she could grant him immortality to become a lesser god, so they could be together forever. But it was not to be. In the middle of the transformation, something got in the way. He is ever living, but he is mortal. He will never die of age, but his soul is damaged by this failed transformation. He exited his seclusion 40 years ago. It was over 200 years since the failed transformation happened. Over 300 years even. It was 415 years ago that this failed transformation happened. He was a middle-aged man. He was 40. He had lived a long life for that time. It was a time of unrest. The guilds battled and blood filled the world. He had lived a long time for a human then. And this goddess saw him, saw the world around them, and she loved it. She didn't love the war, she didn't love the blood, but she loved the people. She tried to share her gifts with him so that they could love everybody equally. So she didn't have a favorite mortal. That failed. She has a favorite mortal, and it is this man. She gives him his powers. She touched his soul. And she helps him get stronger. He, meanwhile, preaches about the love that she can give, about how great of a goddess she is. The past 40 years, the belief in her has skyrocketed. Because this man, this simple man, he went out and he spread her name. He quite quickly joined Transitum. Because they were peaceful. They were nice, and they held power that he lacked. They held reach that he lacked. He's now one of the oldest members of Transitum. And he loves it. but he will never love anything as much as he loves his goddess. She is a goddess of love, and he is her most devout follower. He believes the gifts she granted him are meant to be shared and not used for his own benefit. And she gave them to him for him. She loves everybody, yes, but she's selfish. Because as much as he loves her, she loves him. She truly believes he's her second half. Her love. She gives power to him, but she also gains power from the love she feels for him, from the love he feels for her. If she had to decide, she will choose him over anyone. Over anyone and everyone. And this is a dangerous thing. She's a goddess. She's a goddess of love and devotion. She shouldn't have favorites, but she does. And Griseo is her favorite. Now Griseo is a good man now. When he was younger, he was troubled, but now he knows what his mission in the life is. Spread the name of his goddess. Become greater than the past that make him whole. And become powerful enough to meet her again. Because after this failed transformation, he has only been able to hear her voice in his dreams. She cannot see him, because the reason for the failed transformation is other gods intervened. Other gods saw that she was trying to bring a new one into their ranks, and they acted. She is forbidden from seeing him. And if she tries, they will kill him. They won't kill her, she's one of them. But he's not, and he's not allowed to be. She tries to guide him to the path of godhood, to make him become part of them, in the way that everybody else has. But that way is not for you to know. It's for my players to figure out, if they wish to. Now, I've talked about love, I talked about devotion, I talked about love to your work, love to your friends, love to your love. But I have to say, to all the people who watch this, listen to this, I love you. You are so amazing. I thank you for the time that you take out of your day to listen to this Swedish man rambling. And to my players, I love you too. I love that you take time out of your day every second week or so to sit down and play a game with me. Now, I won't lie, I'm not the best DM. I make mistakes. I try to learn from them, but I can't say I always do. Sometimes I don't. And that's okay. To all my would-be DMs out there, don't be afraid for the challenge. Because in truth, there is no challenge. The only challenge to being a successful DM and not being one is not starting. I can almost promise you there's someone out there that will There are people out there that would love to play with you as you as the DM. And you just have to find them. But you can't find them if you are not looking. So promise me that campaign idea that you had, that one-shot idea that you had, write it down. Write it down and start searching. Because you can find friends, you can find happiness, you can find, if you're having bad thoughts, you can find a reason to continue in D&D. I'm not saying you should use D&D as an escape, but it can be used as one. You should always, if you feel alone, talk to someone. But from my experience with D&D, it can help you feel not alone. It can help you feel part of a bigger thing, part of a community. And yeah, I understand if you skip this last part here where I talked about bad thoughts and stuff like that. I completely understand. But I just want to say thank you for listening. I hope you will leave a comment telling me what you thought. I would love to hear that. But this has been Big's D&D Fix, episode 3. And I will catch y'all later.